Hi everyone, this is Chloe Bowie and welcome to my tutorial video on how to draw a red dragon. I began this drawing by working out how I wanted to compose my picture. The reason I did this is because when you think of a dragon, the most obvious mental image that comes to mind is a huge lizard or beast. Because this is going to be such a large creature that we're working with, I want to really think about how I'm going to compose that body. I've decided to keep everything very central to the composition, and I've created an oval shape in the background to give me a guide. I've started my dragon by loosely sketching in the body, and I want to make this dragon almost serpentine. So this is going to be more of an oriental dragon. This dragon will be a little bit different from the kind of dragons that you hear in European mythology, which are much bulkier and have wings. So once that I've created the shapes that I want, I'm going to start creating some clean line art for my dragon. In addition to being wingless, my dragon is also going to have long points of hair on the brows, beneath the nostrils, and is also going to have hair on the tip of its tail. So I want all of the lines for my dragon's line art to be really clean and crisp, so it's important to take your time here, and if you feel that you need to redraw any of the lines, that's totally okay. I find that it's fine to be very loose with your sketch work, but this is somewhere you really want to put some time into and not rush. This next part is probably going to be the most time consuming, and that is adding the scales to the dragon. When I'm adding the scales, I want to make sure that they're following the direction of the dragon's body. So they're going to change direction with every curve or bend. I'm also going to make some of the scales a little bit larger on the body, just to give the impression that they're closer to the viewer. But I'm going to keep the scales on the face as well as the limbs a little smaller, and they're also going to get smaller the further they go down the body at the back. So ideally they'll be smallest at the very tip of the tail, which is the furthest point away. Again, I would recommend taking your time with this process. It can be a little bit tedious, but you want everything to look really natural. Now that I've finished all of the line art for my dragon, I'm going to start blocking in a base colour. The base colour I've chosen for my dragon is a very dark red, and once I've implemented this, I'm going to start shading the edges. After I've shaded all the edges of the dragon, I'm going to go in with a much brighter red-orange colour. The contrasting effect between the light and the dark is really dramatic, and it gives the dragon's body a three-dimensional effect. And once I've begun this, I'm also going to add some of this extra red-orange to the eyes of the dragon, to a couple of the scales just to make them seem a little more natural. And I'm also going to add some orange at the very edge of the body, just where I feel that the light would hit the dragon. And I've just increased the contrast here with the orange and the darker scales just to make them look a little bit more vibrant. And I'm also going to go in here and I'm going to start adding a base colour which is black to the hair of the dragon as well as the dragon's claws. I wanted to add a little extra highlight to parts on the dragon, but I also wanted to keep the colour of the scales quite warm, so I've added a little bit of yellow here. I wanted to create a slightly softer focus on the scales in the dragon, so I've added a small blur. And a small part of the video didn't record here, but all you missed was I added some very soft wispy hairs to the hair of the dragon, and I used a very light grey colour to do this. And I've just started blocking in some clouds for the background, so this dragon is going to be in a night sky. I decided for the background I wanted to create very soft and swirling shapes for the clouds, much like the ones that you would see in very old Oriental art of clouds. But I also wanted to keep them quite realistic looking. I'm making my background very blue, so the orange and the reds in the dragon should contrast against that. Because the dragon is considered to be such a powerful mythical creature, I didn't want it to just fade into the background. So I spent some time here just playing around with the balance of colours until I was happy with how they looked. I really wanted to make sure that I explored as many different options I could with my dragon. Because there was so much contrast in my picture, I wanted to soften the focus a little, and I did this by adding some very soft light effects. I did this by using a very pale blue, and I wanted to make it seem as if the stars themselves were creating a light source for the dragon. Just to make the eyes and the hair of the dragon pop out a little more, I added some more yellow, and then I also added a little bit more shade to this with some black. And then I used a highlight white on the wispiest parts of the hair just to give them a really nice texture. I wanted to add a little bit more soft focus light, and then to finish everything off I added some more texture to the clouds. Okay everyone, so that's my tutorial for how to draw a dragon finished. I hope you enjoyed this, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. If you've used this tutorial to create your own dragon, I'd love to see it, so please feel free to share it with me. And I'll see everyone again in my next video.